Dean Legge here at the LA Hotel downtown. This is where all the availability is for the media with the players and so forth. Georgia with a busy day today, or it felt busy to me. Jake Fromm, Jim Chaney, Jeb Blazevich, Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, Isaiah Wynn, all here this morning. And then practice over at the StubHub Center in Carson, California. Plenty of traffic, but really the big focus of the day was Jake Fromm and Jim Chaney having their first appearances in front of the media. For Jake Fromm, well, he did talk in front of the SEC after the SEC championship game in an open locker room. They can't prevent that from happening. And same thing with Chaney, I guess. But this was their first sort of designated time. And I thought it was Jake Fromm handled himself perfectly fine. He got tongue-tied a little bit. That happens to the best of us. But then Georgia went on out to practice, and it was relatively hot. Would you say it was a little bit hot? Yeah. So just one of those days for the Dogs. They certainly seemed active, if you want to say that. They were very interested, it seemed like, in being there. And, you know, it's hard to tell what's really going on in these practices. I mean, we're kept away for a long time. We only got to see about 15 minutes, and most of it was just fundamentals, nothing serious. Obviously, they're not working on any game stuff. The interesting thing is both teams are practicing at the same place at the same time. Now, same place is a general term for within the same acreage of one another, both at the same facility, but the facility is pretty huge, so it'd be hard to check on the other guys. I wanted to go watch Oklahoma at some point. I might do that tomorrow, but if Baker Mayfield truly has the flu, I mean, I would be concerned a little bit if I were Oklahoma, because that's not just something you quickly recover from. Now, he's going to play in the game. I think we all know that. But will that affect you? I would argue that it certainly can. I mean, if you're just getting over the flu right now, it would still affect you a little bit. If you're in the midst of the flu right now and it's Thursday, you're kind of running out of time to get yourself where you need to go. I was sick over the Christmas holidays and Christmas holiday, and it took me, you know, you get beat up a little bit. But I think that's something to keep your finger on there if you're reporters like us and Georgia fans, is how well is Baker Mayfield going to field. And everybody feels fine, but what happens is you can get a little bit dehydrated. Okay, Dog Post Dylan Weber joins me now. You wrote about Jim Chaney today. Tell me a little bit about that, what you were thinking about and what you think of Jim Chaney's progress this season.
Well, I mean, Kirby always gives a lot of credit to Mel Tucker for what he's done for the defense, but I don't think he gives enough to Jim Chaney personally, because last year that offense was, to put lightly, was horrible, was just awful. And I mean, there's been some changes. The offensive line switched around a little bit, but they're doing a lot better. And, you know, you got another freshman quarterback in there, and Fromm has done well, but Chaney has really, he hasn't transformed into one of the best in the nation, but they have gotten substantially better, from horrible to very, I mean, not.
Georgia's offense is pretty good.
They're good. They're very consistent. They're very steady.
I think what it is with Georgia's offense, particularly in a situation like this with Oklahoma, is you don't think about them being this big play, explosive Mike Bobo offense as they've been in the past. Everybody who associates with Georgia thinks about defense. Georgia wears on you. That's really what happens.
I mean, with Georgia, it's not about the big plays, but it's about the consistent 4, 5, 6 yard runs. And Chaney, in his opening statement, one thing that really stood out to me was that he said this game is won by being with physicality. And when you think Georgia football, you think physicality, but when you think Oklahoma, you think big plays through the air, and that's not physical. I think he said that with that in mind.
I was listening to some of the OU beat writers talk about how Oklahoma is kind of getting annoyed with the physicality stuff, which is fine, but you know, there is some truth to it. I mean, right now Oklahoma State's struggling against Virginia Tech. When you think about Virginia Tech, you think about physical defense. So they will have to deal. Everyone has to deal with Georgia's physicality. I mean, I sound like Joey Galloway right now. How many times can you say the word physicality? But you know, when you look at the body types at Georgia, and you see, if you like us, we've seen them play 2 straight years. they just get their hands on you, and it's difficult. What else did you take from the press conference today? Who were you with? Were you with Nick? I was with Fromm.
Sony. Yeah, basically just Nick and Sony.
Anything new there?
Nick was just when he was by himself was very, I don't really want to talk to y'all. When he got next to Isaiah Wynn, though, his face lit up. He was having a great time there, and it was good to see that, because it was just good to see him happy like that.
You want Nick to be happy? Do you feel for Nick?
A little bit. I mean, like, he really doesn't like talking to the media, and I feel bad kind of forcing him to do it. But when he was up there with Isaiah and I think it was Jeb, he was way happier and way more willing to talk.
Well, Georgia's done a good job of programming these guys, so it happens. All right, Dean Legge and Dylan Weber wrapping up today. Check us out tomorrow. Same basic rotation tomorrow, just Georgia's defense, then practice. Then Georgia will have the Beef Bowl at Lowry's in Beverly Hills, and we'll see how that goes. But keep checking out Dog Post, and we will see y'all soon.